Yep, it's that time when I talk about the color of my skin. What's up guys, Freeman here, and today I thought I'd change it up a bit. Mainly because I need to do a video where I'm not talking at 100 miles an hour, and two, because there's been so much crap going on in the world that I just need to get a lot of it off my chest. And a lot of it is really spurred on by a lot of the stuff with Trump and Hillary and Black Lives Matter and people talking about racism. I don't know about you, but I actually have to fucking find racism. I actually have to go out and find it. It's not this ubiquitous thing like pollution and smog that pervades the bloody world. I think the best place to start is with my own experience, because I grew up in a secondary school, the generation before the millennials, so I never had all this microaggression BS or whatever the hell's going on. So I came face to face with racism and didn't give a fuck. Like seriously, I'd just be walking down the road or just walking from one class to the next, and someone would just chuck me a racist joke. This didn't happen that often, it wasn't all the time, but some of the people that I met and some of the people that I talked to would be just more than happy to just share a racist joke or even tell a racist comment to me or just attempt what they thought was racism. Now, I could have either been like, no, mate, I just can't take these words that are coming out your face, I just can't take it. Or I could do what I usually do whenever that happens, which is laugh at it. Which I did. I don't know why I never learned this before. I've just always been a laughable. I just like laughing. And when I was younger, I used to just laugh most of the time. So I did what any sane person would do, is just laugh hysterically. And no, I'm joking. I would just find it funny. And if I found it funny, I'd laugh. And something very interesting would happen. I'd stop becoming the victim. When you stop becoming the victim, the racists lose their power. Because they're like, oh, I thought that he would be offended by this, but actually he's laughing. And I'd actually take it one step further. Obviously, I wasn't conscious of doing this. It's only looking back that I really realized. But I would basically say, well, that was hilarious. Let me tell you one of mine. And then, you know, they would laugh. Keep chucking racist jokes until both of us are just in fits of laughter. And then either we become friends or we just go off the other way. Like, for example, I'm walking down the class and some guy walks up to me and says, how does a black woman tell her she's pregnant? When she takes the tampon out, all the cotton is picked. And I could either be like, oh my god, that's the worst thing in the world, or I could just be like, what do you call a redneck who dates the woman of his dreams? Incest. You see, in that situation, I could either lose my shit. I could be really annoyed, I could be really angry, I could start a fuss, I could start a movement and then get funded by George Soros and wreak havoc around London. Or I could just be like, that was terrible, or that was funny, and laugh at it, and then either throw him a racist joke and just walk away, and just generally just keep the power to myself, because the moment you succumb to it, that's when you lose your power.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Now, what he basically says there is something that I've been saying for a while. It's just don't fucking talk about it. But this in its own will ring loads of alarm bells with people because there are genuine racists out there. I do not want this video to make it seem as if there's no racism going on anywhere. There is genuine racism out there. And some of it is bad. Some of it can lead to people dying, people being stabbed and all this, or just beating up on the street. I think we've all seen the video of that guy who was pulled out of his car by a load of black people and beaten up because he had a Trump sticker. Or the hordes of black guys running down the street, or black people running down the street saying that they're just going to go around beating up white people. There are genuine cases when you are confronted by this and you gotta either fight or you gotta run. and just standing there and exchanging jokes with a whole load of angry black men probably isn't really the good thing to do, especially if they're racist jokes. Yeah, you're gonna want to be running or putting up your fists pretty soon. There is genuine racism. However, it's disproportionate to the amount of racism that's going on, that's being reported, that people are talking about. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, like, for example, in my parents' generation. Now, my parents, when they came over, they experienced genuine racism. They experienced what it was like to go for a job and being told that you know, you should be a nurse. They experienced what it's like to try and achieve something and then be picked over someone else who was white or Asian or something like that, because just no one trusted black people. But that was 60 fucking years ago. You can't do that now. If I went for a job and someone told me, I don't know, maybe I should be in the ghetto, I'd be rich. I'd sue the fuck out of him, and I'd be rich, basically. But it doesn't happen. There are rules, there are regulations, there are organizations and bodies that will protect you from that. They didn't have that back then. And so this idea that, you know, we're just living in the sea of racism and that it's just there boiling under that white man's skin just to burst forth like a fucking parasite and grab him by the face. No. That doesn't... No. I have to find racism. I actually have to go out, go somewhere, find the racists and actually deal with them. Now, obviously, if you're living in that area, then you're living in that area. It does genuinely exist, but does it involve going out and starting movements and, more importantly, brainwashing our kids to think that racism is around every corner when you have to fucking find it these days? No. I mean, I've already started on Black Lives Matter, but you're kidding me. You literally burning down black-owned, white-owned businesses. Many of these people who actually attacked the police, who shot the police, who are known gangsters, who then get injured or shot by a white guy, and all of a sudden this militant group comes out of nowhere and just defends him. It makes me sick. Martin Luther King would be turning in his grave. I'm sure he already is turning in his grave. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And I just wanted to come out and say that, you know, there are ways to deal with racism. Either you laugh or you ignore it, you just don't talk about it, or if in the case of genuine like full-blown like violent racism, the stuff that's really hard to find in this day and age, you can either fight or you can run. But carrying on brainwashing the future generations that racism is just around the corner is going to get us nowhere as a society, as a species, and quite frankly, I'm sick of it. Sometimes I just wish that, you know, I'm just walking down the street and just a redneck just walks up to me and just lets off all this racism. I'm like, God, finally, I found you. I've been looking for you for so long. One last point. There is a difference between a lot of the racism that I'm saying. A lot of the various different types of racism. A lot of it is overt, a lot of it is covert, a lot of it is... But like things like racial prejudice definitely does exist. And I have seen, for example, if I'm walking into a shop and I'm wearing a hoodie, for example, and they see like that I'm black, like I can visibly notice a difference. It doesn't matter if it's a white security guard or a black security guard, they're going to be spending way more time checking me out, seeing what I'm doing. But there's a solution to that. Don't dress like a gangster, because gangsters are more likely to steal shit than someone who... I'm not trying to discount genuine racism. It is there. If you do experience it, deal with it properly is what I'm saying. And don't go around telling people that it's just there like fucking CO2 floating through the air and, you know, you're always dealing with it, always everything's racist, everything's sexist and all this other bullshit that I see. So yeah, just wanted to get that off my chest because I'm tired of it. I just had one too many lectures about how there's just so much racism in the world and I can't. It's just such bullshit.